Hey everyone, I'm the Chess Nerd, and today we're going to be looking at how I composed a chess study. So for those who don't know, a chess study is a fictional chess problem that a human or many humans create for other humans to solve. Known to be problems that are quite fascinating as they intrigue many audiences to be perplexed yet surprised when they figure out the insane combinations. It's designed to really bring out the beauty in chess and to express yourself with every piece on the board. Every piece should have a role. So yeah, that's a chess study, and this is the angle. This is the context in which I composed it. So I was hiking in Banff for 8 days, Banff, Canada, a national park, and we had a rest day. And on the trip, I brought with me my magnetic chess set. And what I did with my chess set is, as one does, once I got bored, I started to play a game of chess against myself. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how I got to compose a chess study and how you can get to compose a chess study as well, if you're interested. So this is the chess study that I composed. It's a particularly nice one. I'm going to put the answer at the end of the video, so check that out at the end. But it's black to play and draw. I'm pretty proud of this puzzle, so please don't bash it, you know. So this is a challenge for you. After this video, I want you to try and compose a chess study. Why not, you know? So this took me about 2 to 3 hours to compose. Once I got the idea, I got elements, and then it piles on. So step 1, play a game of chess against yourself. You decide the opening for both sides. You decide what the opponent plays. You can even cut corners, you know. You can do 2 turns in a row. Playing against a game of chess against yourself, you always favor one side more than another, which means you'll have one side that's pretty much better with a better pawn structure, or better bishops, or a better attack on the king, or better outpost knights. Definitely, if you play 1 or 2 games of chess against yourself, you're going to increase the chances of potentially finding a beautiful tactic in the game. It would be a chess competition, but most chess compositions are made in the end of the middle game or the end game, like that. Moves are more sure, you know. They're more forced and they're more beautiful. So yeah, I got till the end game in my game, and it's looked a little bit like this. I know it's not much, but I think in this game I was favoring the black pieces, just because he has 3 pawns and he has the only chance to win in this position. So the last move was king takes a white pawn on a5. And then I played this with white. And I just remember seeing this thing. So 1, 2. You can do this because it's a fake game, obviously, so I played faked moves. So I played my king there and my knight there in a row. Yeah, we're cheating a bit. And I said to myself, oh, that's a nice potential stalemate. If this pawn's out of here, it's a pretty nice stalemate, you know? So that's what I tried to do. Then I had to think of how to bring that knight there. So I have to either back this knight up here or here, so it can take a piece potentially here and then inflict the stalemate pattern, right? And just a reminder, black's pieces go this way and white pieces go this way, so black can't promote their pawns, okay? Their pawns are going this way. So I decided to put my knight there. And after that, well, I said the only piece that's valuable enough, or that's inflicting enough to bring here, is a queen. So let me just bring her. So then I figured out, okay, I'll pop a queen here at the end of the board, h8. So now the problem is the queen goes here, but then what's next? You know, you need pieces to make the king not escape there. And that's when I thought, okay, we should probably put a pawn there. this. So not only would after this takes is a stalemate, but after this, the king can't go on d6, right? Because it's illegal. Okay, so coming back to the position, so we have a good lead, queen there, and forces takes. King can only go here at this point, so it's not bad. So as you can see, black have many moves, but it's not a realistic position in the sense that white don't have enough materials, so it's an unsavable game. So usually chess compositions, their goal is to have a position in which that particular position plays the hero card for the whole game and changes the whole game with these incredible moves in a losing or drawn position otherwise, right? So that's where I had to bring in the queen. For the positioning of the queen, this is my first time where I was lucky. So I said, maybe let's pop it there. This is intuition. So you have to have this in chess. It's part of chess. So I pop the queen on f7. And then I say, okay, so once the queen does check, white can't take here. It would be stalemate. So then black has to go here. And then I was like, oh my god, that's great. You know, we're winning the queen, we're winning the game. So far, so good for a chess composition, but it's not complicated enough. Chess compositions usually have at least 2 to 3 variations, or one very long variation that's forcing the opponent to do something. So after here, I'm at a good start, right? Threatening queen c3. But there's only one thing, that when I saw it, I kind of collapsed, right? So obviously after queen c3, you have queen c4. That's the only problem with having the queen behind the king on this diagonal, is that it can save the king. And here I'm perplexed because I'm trying to think of a draw pattern that will inflict a stalemate, but the king has to control this square. It's the white king, so that the king can't go here, right? So I start to think of queen a3, and after this, queen d6 you have, and after king e4, it's already not possible to do stalemate, as the king can go on b6, right? So that's no possible. So after queen c3, I have to find something against queen c4. This took me quite a while, but finally I came up with something that bars the king from going to b6, taking refugee, so I added a bishop here on a7. It's kind of a funky bishop because why add it there, but at the same time this variation, queen a3, forces king d5 or king d4. So after king d5, I think I calculated queen d6. And after king e4, I calculated queen f4. By the way, this is without a computer. I'm in the middle of a national park. I have no satellite, no Wi-Fi, no connection, no reception, no whatsoever, right? So I'm in the wilderness. I don't have any medium to verify if my variations are correct. It's only with self-calculation I can do this. So after king d3, right, white can't take the queen still because it's stalemate if he does. Wait, after king d5 here, well then black just have queen e5, that forces the stalemate. So king d3 here, the queen is here. Then I thought of a magical queen e3. Even though white can take with his bishop, it's still stalemate. So at this point I was kind of roaring. I was back onto speed, you know, the queen c4 variation kind of checked out. It's going good so far. King c2, queen d2. And here, king b1, queen b2, stalemate, perfect. And king b3, queen b2, stalemate, perfect. So this is quite what I'm going for so far. So then we have our second variation. After queen a3, we have king d4. And here it's a bit more tough to find a draw, but I think queen e3 check. king d4, king d5, e3 check, king d5, and queen e5. Then you have a clear stalemate, so that was all good. But then once again, I missed something, as one does. This is the second time I missed something that's pretty obvious, so you can just realize that that day I was sick, I was ill, I had a stomach ache and inflammation in my chest, and I couldn't think. I was resting the whole day, so my brain was kind of on an off switch, off on the whole day. And so yeah, I'm missing obvious moves that I would not miss in the city at home where my brain is always awake, right? So here we are. I can't even believe it at this point because I think I just invented off the spot, a chess composition out of the blue. So I look back at my problem and I start to realize that queen e5 also works. And if you don't know, a thing that's very common about chess compositions is that there is one only unique solution. Yes, granted, there may be a few variations by white, a few possible moves that white can do to try to escape what black are trying to do as a draw, but there cannot be two different solutions. So two different first candidate moves or two different way outs. It just makes the problem unoriginal and easy. And that's not the goal of a chess composition. So I realize here that queen e5 also works. It draws. So here you have a simple little easy draw. And in my face, that was a big insult when I found that. Also on queen e5, king c4, and then queen takes e2. And then queen takes e2, right, with check. And this looks pretty draw. I mean, black are in an open space and they can pretty much do checks as long as they want. So that's not possible. And so when I checked back home, the computer said that this is draw with also queen e5. So this was not an option at all. And so I had to find a new defender for this square right here. And so I thought of a knight. So I placed it here originally. This is a second moment in this wild search. This is the second moment in this wild search where I get lucky once again. So now here with queen e5, I look at knight d5. And then simple queen c3 makes it a draw, right? So nor knight can take the queen and the king can't escape anywhere. So that was a green light for that variation. And then king c4. Doesn't look like it works, so after queen takes e2, white still have two extra pieces, and the perpetual doesn't look as clear because white can refugee his king around here and win. But still, I was a bit concerned with this variation, so I decided to make a pawn here so that black can't afford this variation just for the knight, because the pawn is too monstrous and the king will surely take refuge over there on h7. So yeah, this pawn will not serve as much. It's just a reminder that you can't play this variation just to get the knight on e2, right? You'll have to figure out something else that comes with it or another draw. So then I come back to my main variation, right? Queen c3. And I have to test out the old stuff, given that there's a new piece. So queen c3, queen c4, queen a3 check. And after this, I also have to try to spot stalemates. So this time around, king d4. And this seems to work pretty nice with queen e3 here. King d5 and queen e5. And this is stalemate. and with the king d5 variation. And with the king d5 variation, we also have queen d6 check, and after king e4, we have the same variation as before, so the queen basically follows the king till it's stalemate, right? So this variation works, and I was kind of pleased. But then another bad thing happened. But then here I realized after queen c3 check queen c4, we have queen e5 with black. And this seems to be just as drawn. But then when I come back and I see that we have knight d5 here, to my surprise, I just think we have queen d4 and that settles it. Right? It's stalemate. And I said, we don't even need the bishop in this position, right? So we could just get him up on out of here. And so here we have the final position of my chess composition. And here is the solution. So black to play and draw. The play goes as such. So queen c3 is the first move. If white play knight c3, well then it's a stalemate, right? The black king can't go anywhere. And white cover all the spaces, right? The two pawns are immobilized, so they can't move, and it's a stalemate. Nothing more to say. On the second variation, so it's like a menu, we have a couple variations here and there. On the second variation, so the dumb variation with king d5, this gives up the king, so queen b3 check, king c5, and then obviously queen takes queen on f7, and this wins for the black pieces, right? So, oh, we have a fourth variation, which is the perpetual. So in this composition, we find all types of draws. So first we have the stalemate, then we have the perpetual, then we'll have the zugzwang, right? Here after queen e5 check, white have two options, so either accept the repetition, the threefold repetition, or after queen e5, white can just play knight d5. And then here you have the cream on top of the cake, the cherry on top of the sundae. You have it all. You have the masterpiece move, queen d4, which puts all of his pieces on connected to this black queen. They can all take, but none of them escape white from a stalemate draw. For example, king takes, stalemate, right? The beauty of this is that the knight, with the fewest pieces possible, this knight, right, we don't need the bishop anymore. That only used to cover this square, the b6 square. The beauty of this is now the knight controls the b6 square and we don't even need the bishop. So this is a stalemate. Queen takes here. This is a stalemate. And finally, knight takes here is also a stalemate. And in my opinion, this is just the nicest of the stalemates because you have an overload of pieces against a lonely, poor, scrambled, very weak, lonely king. But it's stalemate, so it's as if nothing happened, right? Which is the goal of stalemates. I mean, if you're going to do a stalemate, you better do it in fashion, right? So this is a stalemate in fashion, in my opinion. And this is how I compose the chess study. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Tell me if you succeed to compose your own chess study. I would really like to see results, or people who've tried even. It's just fun to try a game against yourself and see what happens. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you really liked the video, well then you can share it. You can subscribe to my channel. But take care. I hope you have a great day and see ya.